Hello, everyone. This is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net, coming to you with the Atlanta Falcons post-game slash slobber video. It's a little tough to do a slobber video in a game like this, but I will do my best, and I think the best sentiment I can use to express the credit that I'm going to give Atlanta is good teams find a way to win close games. Bad teams, conversely, find a way to lose close games. That has certainly been the hallmark of the Buccaneers season. We have been consistent in our comments that our team is, in fact, a bad team. And despite putting up the better part of 4 quarters of pretty solid effort against an Atlanta Falcons team that has visions of the playoffs, we were unable to hold down Chris Redman, the backup quarterback, a slew of backup running backs, backup offensive line, and the Atlanta Falcons ended up prevailing with a final, the last 29-second touchdown pass to Roddy White. So all credit goes to the Atlanta Falcons. I was able to actually get up for this game. I was in the Georgia Dome. Great fans in Atlanta. A terrific experience. I don't know why there were only about 40,000 people in there when you have a team that's still vying for playoff contention. I think that's a damn shame. But at the end of the day, the Atlanta Falcons went out there and got it done. Now, we talk all the time about how hard it is for teams when they lose their starting quarterback. Very few teams in the league have the luxury of 2 solid quarterbacks. I definitely would not have considered Chris Redmond in that group of solid backup quarterbacks before this game, but Chris Redmond came in after Matt Ryan went out with a toe injury and was workmanlike. He put up almost a 90 QB rating against a defense he had never seen before. The Bucs brought out their new implementation under Coach Morris's tutelage of the Tampa 2 with a one-gap set on the front, or one-gap approach for the defensive line and the linebackers. Chris Redmond was getting pounded all day long. He took 5 sacks. Before Matt Ryan went out, he took a sack. There was pressure continually, even beyond those sacks, and somehow Redmond was able to stand in the pocket, deliver the ball. Tony Gonzalez was an animal, as he always is. I think he was close to 100 yards receiving, 96 yards, I think. Let me check the stat sheet. Tony Gonzalez, 83 yards, 9.2 average, 17, and then the final drive, it was one point I think he had 3 receptions in a row. He was targeted 5 times in a row. It didn't matter what we did to cover him. The guy was an absolute magnet, and that was all that the Falcons needed. Solid effort by the defense. The Buccaneers put up 17 points, which is lower than they've been putting up, to be quite honest. One of them on a very short field after a blocked punt by Corey Lynch. 8-yard drive is not something you can put on the defense, to be quite honest. So you take that one away, that's 13 points that got hung on them. The other touchdown drive of note, a 2-play 80-yard drive, right? 2 passes to Antonio Bryant. That's the secondary that outgoing 37 talked about in his video. Props to outgoing 37 for your video. I think you understand what this game was all about. NFC South games are typically good matchups. But again, the better team here going in was the Falcons. There's no doubt. The records do not lie. You are what your record says you are. And despite my Bucs putting up a pretty strong effort, giving me some glimmers of hope that I'll be able to walk out of the stadium at the Georgia Dome and not receive a pile of shit from everybody who I see, which I actually didn't anyway. Some pretty classy fans up there. The Atlanta Falcons got it done. Mike Smith kept his team in line, got things progressing under his backup quarterback, and was able to make the adjustments necessary. So statistically, I wish there was something I could really kind of slobber all over, but I didn't think there was a great performance by anyone at all on either side of the ball. Michael Turner went out with an injury. Snelling didn't look particularly good. Jurius Norwood had some nice splashes. He did what we expect to see him do from time to time. He's quick. He's got that wiggle to him. Had a couple of nice runs, and then that shovel pass for a touchdown when Geno Hayes hopped out of his assignment gap, left a gaping hole in the middle of the field that Jurius Norwood ran down the middle of after getting the shovel pass. So, again, all credit to the Falcons. I'll have to wear this ludicrous hat this week for another video. But outgoing, I'll have a chance to make you wear my ludicrous hat at the end of the season. And all I can hope is that you guys actually continue to do well, and that game is very, very important to you. Because, to be honest, I think that the Bucs did a damn good job against your squad, but not good enough, as has been the case 10 times this year, which is a shame. So, with regards to actual analysis, Josh Freeman had a nice bounce back. I know that this means I'll get at least 5 or 6 posts from K-State fans telling me I'm a fat moron for saying he was a bad draft pick. Good on you guys. Way to keep current. But he did a very nice job. I think Greg Olson, our offensive coordinator, handicapped him quite a bit towards the end, but I'm not sure whether it was Olson's fault or whether Josh just chose to check down a lot. He definitely went into a shell and was not poking the ball down the field like he had been during in the earlier part of the game. Our running game was horrible, but then again, so was the Atlanta running game. Either that's a tribute to the defenses that were playing on the field or, a condemnation of the offensive line play on both sides. We ended up with 73 yards on the ground, and 14 of them come from Josh Freeman. The Atlanta Falcons, who have a pretty high-powered rushing attack, typically ended up with 75 yards on the ground. Michael Turner, even when he was in, wasn't particularly explosive. He had a couple of decent runs, but he had a 2.8-yard average per carry. So running game, which is what we kind of thought was going to be the hallmark of this game, not so much. What it ended up being was a battle of field position, and the battle of field position special teams, Atlanta did a great job. Their kickoffs consistently into the end zone for touchbacks. We couldn't get Peanut Smith to be a weapon for us. Their punts the same way. Their punter got a lot of air to the ball, a lot of depth, taking Clifton Smith out of the game, and really that's one of the areas we've got to get an advantage on in order to win. You look at the sacks, we had the advantage. Turnovers, there's only one. We had a fumble that was created by Barrett Ruud hitting Jason Snelling, so we had a +1 there. But on the special team side of the ball, we really couldn't do anything. Our field goal kicker missed a field goal, which, to be honest, was questionable even why we should have kicked it. It would have just made Mike Smith have to either go for the tie for the touchdown, which he needed anyway, or decide to go for a 2-point conversion for the win. It would have been up to him. But our punter ends up going out injured after having a really crap game anyway. 30 yards per punt, that's not going to help you win the field position battle. I think all in all, the defense did a pretty damn good job against an offense, even though it was being run by a backup quarterback, is typically pretty efficient and has some pretty strong weapons. So, again, outgoing 37, I'm sorry that I can't slobber all over anybody, but I just didn't see anything worthy of slobbering. I think that this was a fairly evenly fought contest. And no, for Bucs fans out there, the pass interference or the defensive holding call at the end was not a horseshit call. The call was accurate. Do I think that it was away from the play, and typically referees are instructed not to make that call, especially when the game hangs in the balance? Yeah, but you're playing in Atlanta. That's not to say it was a hometown call, but hometown calls exist, folks, and it's a legitimate call. That gave Atlanta another set of downs inside the 10-yard line, and that's all they needed. So a lot of drama in the game, most definitely. The things that Bucs fans will be talking about, I'm sure you guys will. The fake punt call that Dirk got injured on, why the hell did we make that call? I don't have a problem with it. We're a 1-9 team. You take your chance. But in my mind, if you're not going to fake them out, and the field position they had protect on. They weren't going to be fooled by that. If you're going to go for it, just go for it with your offense. You got a better chance of getting at your skill position guys who are out there on the field. Same thing for the field goal. I get Connor Barth. I understand you may think he's going to make that field goal. I just don't think it helps you tremendously. I think you're on it was a 51-yard kick. So you're probably on the 34-yard line-ish, 33-yard line-ish of the Falcons, and it's 4th and 4. I would just go for it. To be honest, you're 1-9 coming into the game. The field goal doesn't help you enough. I understand that traditional wisdom says get the points, but Mike Smith still's got to go down there and get a touchdown to win. In this case, all he's got to do is kick the field goal to go to overtime or go for a 2-point conversion. I say you go for it. You take a little bit more time off the clock. And who knows, maybe you get the first down. And that's a Belichick call, but you're not sitting in the playoff race. So, anyway, I saw improvement for my Buccaneers. For the Bucs fans out there who watch these videos, I see improvement. Hopefully we'll see more improvement this week with Carolina. We'll do a preview video this week, and we'll be live Thursday night. Thanks to anyone who came over as a result of this to the live show last night. It was good having some fans from other teams on the show at whatthebuck.net. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys next time.